Now the news, the race to establish a human presence on the moon has just received a big boost. India's Chandrayaan-3 mission has uncovered evidence suggesting lunar water may be more accessible than scientists previously believed.
Chandrayaan-3 was meant to be a triumph, a symbol of India's growing mastery in space exploration. It landed where no other nation had dared to go, the moon's shadowy and ancient South Pole. But after the images came back, after the first soil scans were transmitted to Earth, the celebration began to fade, replaced by silence, then whispers, and finally a warning. This isn't science fiction. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This is what happens when the most advanced rover ever sent to the moon uncovers a material that defies physics and something even stranger lurking beneath the surface. Let's break down the impossible discovery that has shaken the global scientific community and forced one Nobel mind to say we are not ready. When India's space agency launched Chandrayaan-3, it wasn't just another lunar mission. It was a comeback, a direct successor to the failed Chandrayaan-2 landing attempt in 2019. This time, everything went right. The Vikram lander touched down with flawless precision near the moon's south pole, a region permanently cloaked in shadow, colder than Pluto, and untouched by any nation's probe until now. Why the South Pole? For decades, this region had been the holy grail of lunar science. Radar scans had hinted at ancient water ice, minerals locked in craters, and perhaps signs of a deeper mystery. But until now, no one had dared to land there. The terrain is treacherous, the light unreliable, the temperatures deadly. But ISRO did it, and with it, India joined an elite group of space-faring nations. The mission's early data confirmed what scientists had hoped: frozen water, silicate dust, and useful metals like magnesium and aluminum. A perfect recipe for future moon bases. But buried beneath those early headlines was a darker, more unsettling discovery, one that never made it to the press conferences. As the Prane rover rolled across the powdery regolith, it began scanning the moon's surface with state-of-the-art spectrometers. The goal: to identify the precise chemical makeup of the soil. But what it found left scientists in a state of disbelief. A substance never before seen in any known sample, lunar, terrestrial, or extraterrestrial. It didn't match any mineral in Earth's database. It didn't reflect light as it should. It seemed to absorb electromagnetic radiation, even bending it in unpredictable ways. One engineer described it as a sponge for energy. Miyokaku called it a terrifying anomaly. Why? Because if this substance formed naturally, then it means our entire understanding of material science is wrong. But if it didn't form naturally, that means someone or something placed it there. This discovery alone would be enough to spark international crisis talks, but it was only the beginning. After the initial scans, ISRO activated Chandrayaan-3's ground-penetrating radar designed to peer beneath the lunar crust. What it found sent shock waves through mission control. Beneath the rover's wheels, several meters down, a massive hollow void was detected. But it wasn't random. The radar returns revealed geometric formations, straight lines, symmetrical angles, repeating grids. The early diagrams look less like caves and more like blueprints. Kaku, after reviewing the scans, described them as metallic, organized, deliberate, and likely ancient. To make matters more disturbing, the void was massive, large enough to house a small city. And then came the heat. Instruments began picking up strange thermal fluctuations rising and falling with no solar input. The moon, geologically dead for billions of years, was showing signs of internal energy. Could it be residual heat from unknown materials? A functioning system, or a still active artificial structure? For the first time, scientists began asking the unthinkable. Did we just uncover an ancient alien base, or worse, a forgotten human one? In the days following the underground scans, the Prague rover began to behave erratically. It stopped responding to commands. It sent back corrupted data packets. Its movement, once steady, became unpredictable. ISRO officials attributed this to mechanical stress, but off the record, insiders were not convinced. One anonymous engineer claimed the rover's malfunctions began precisely when it passed over the deepest part of the anomaly. Another suggested the unknown material may have created electromagnetic interference, disrupting the rover's systems. And then came the silence. Prajan stopped transmitting. This was not just a hardware failure. It was a mystery layered on a discovery layered on a warning. If what lies beneath the moon's south pole is ancient and still active, then every step we take may be triggering a system we do not understand. Midioaku has now called for a global coalition, urging that no nation act alone in exploring the anomaly. He warns, we may have just awakened something not meant to be touched. As news of Chandrayaan-3’s silence spread, governments around the world began paying close attention. The discovery of a mysterious substance, a geometric void, and the sudden blackout of the rover triggered international security protocols usually reserved for nuclear events. High-resolution satellite imagery from other space agencies, NASA, CNSA, ESA, was quietly redirected toward the landing zone. Reports leaked that American military satellites picked up an unexplained electromagnetic anomaly just hours before the rover stopped transmitting. Meanwhile, Chinese officials requested emergency access to ISRO's raw data logs, fearing that whatever had been found might affect Earth's electromagnetic balance. Some speculated that the anomaly might even be influencing communication satellites or Earth's magnetic field. In closed-door meetings, the word containment was used. This was no longer just a lunar research mission. It had become a planetary security concern. In a twist no one saw coming, a team of independent archaeologists and astrophysicists compared the radar scan geometries with ancient Vedic star maps. The results? The underground grid beneath the moon's south pole bore a strange resemblance to sacred geometrical patterns found in ancient Indian texts, specifically mandalas believed to encode cosmic knowledge. Could this be coincidence, mathematical convergence, or something much deeper? Dr. Rakesh Varma, a scholar of Sanskrit cosmology, suggested that the geometry found beneath the lunar surface matches the proportions of a symbolic gate described in the Rig Veda, a portal that leads to the place beyond the dark sky. While mainstream science remains skeptical, the similarities are now fueling a growing movement among philosophers and physicists alike. Many are beginning to argue that ancient civilizations may have known something profound about the moon's true nature, knowledge that modern humanity is only just beginning to rediscover. This isn't merely speculation. A series of unsettling data leaks has begun to surface, reportedly smuggled from ISRO's internal research network by anonymous insiders. These files, if genuine, suggest that the samples analyzed by the Indian rover Pragyan contain not only compounds unfamiliar to known chemistry, but also materials with photonic properties never before observed in nature. The implications are staggering. According to the leaked reports, the mysterious substance retrieved, or possibly just scanned, before contact with the rover was lost does not behave like ordinary matter. Instead, it demonstrates characteristics that defy conventional understanding. Researchers describe the sample as a photonic negative. Unlike traditional materials that reflect, refract, or absorb light in predictable ways, this anomaly appears to absorb nearly all light across the entire visible spectrum, as well as in the infrared range. But its strangeness does not stop there. The material seems capable of bending, distorting, or even canceling electromagnetic fields in its vicinity. This type of behavior implies something extraordinary, that the material could be metastable, existing in a delicate balance beyond natural formation, or worse, artificially engineered by a civilization with knowledge far surpassing our own. One particularly chilling description, allegedly written by a scientist within the project, referred to it simply as optical dark matter. The phrase has since become a point of fascination and controversy within fringe scientific communities. Was this just a metaphor born of frustration, or a literal classification hinting at something that bridges the gap between matter and energy? If true, this discovery raises unsettling questions. How could such a substance exist on the moon's surface? Was it naturally deposited by cosmic processes we do not yet understand, or deliberately placed there as a marker, a warning, or perhaps even a remnant of ancient technology? For now, official agencies remain silent. But among those who have seen the leaks, one belief is spreading quickly, that the moon may hold secrets not of its own making, but of intelligent design hidden in plain sight. If confirmed, this would mean that the moon's south pole holds a material that interacts with light and energy in ways we previously thought impossible. A material that could in theory shield entire regions from detection, or even cloak a structure from any kind of optical scan. If such technology exists or existed on the moon, then our understanding of physics is no longer theoretical. It's obsolete. With the world watching and Chandrayaan-3 now silent beneath the shadows, the most terrifying question is not what we've found, but what happens next. What if the moon isn't just a lifeless rock, but a container, a vessel holding technology or information from a past so distant it predates known history? What if our probes in their curiosity have begun to unlock something that was never meant to be accessed again? What if the silence from Prague isn't a failure, but a warning? Mio Kaku's recent interview ended with a single chilling sentence. There are things buried in this universe we were never supposed to touch. And now we may have touched one. The world waits, but the moon remains silent. Chandrayaan-3 was supposed to be a scientific milestone, a symbol of progress, a flag planted not in arrogance, but in hope. And yet what it uncovered may not be a triumph, but a threshold. Because what if the moon's south pole wasn't untouched by accident? What if it was avoided? What if beneath its frozen craters and eternal shadows, something ancient waits, silent, buried, and watching? Not a message, not a sign, but a question. Will they come again? We built a machine. We sent it across space. And when it touched that place, we lost control. Not just of a rover, but of the narrative. And now, as global scientists fall silent, satellites recalibrate, and physicists issue warnings instead of theories, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. We were not the first to arrive, and we may not be the only ones watching. What do you believe Chandrayaan-3 really uncovered? Ancient technology, a natural anomaly, or a remnant from something not of this world? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Share this video if you believe that this discovery isn't the end of a mission, but the beginning of a mystery far bigger than the moon itself. And don't forget to subscribe.